Hello and welcome back to In His Shadow, Chapter 3. The boys keep watching other universes. This one is Watching Always Ours, right at the point where the Splinter on screen is watching a Splinter on screen lose himself, just like the first version of Splinter they saw, and then it gets worse. Leo wiped his eyes again. He still felt raw, but somehow sleep had come easier after all those tears. Perhaps humans were onto something with their discussions of grief and moving on. He kept thinking of that other Splinter. Why was he so much older? Had their own father ever told them his real age? Would they have watched their Splinter decline just the same if he'd lived long enough? Would Leo have been able to help him through it all? Walkers, failing eyesight, even the indignity of diapers. Could he have given his father that kind of dignity? He honestly didn't know. He imagined Splinter, gray and thin, still moving like a shadow in the lair, sneaking up on Leo even with a walker. He almost smiled at the thought. But the grief wasn't gone. Not really. Just a little lighter, like the first breath after a long dive. Was that enough to stop? Could he really take away the chance for more from his brothers? No, he couldn't. He didn't want to, either. Donnie was rubbing his eyes. His voice was raw but steady. Continue. We continue. Leo nodded. He understood. As painful as these worlds were, they hadn't found the one yet. The one where Splinter was close enough to bring a final answer. Or at least a goodbye. The screen flickered. This time a theater appeared. For a split second, Leo could have sworn something on the screen looked right at them, at him. But that was impossible, right? Watching always ours, boomed a voice. Leo glanced at Donnie, who only shrugged, eyes wary but determined. And then he saw him. The Splinter on the screen looked better than any they'd seen before. Alive, alert, surrounded by warmth. Leo's heart twisted. Hope and fear tangled together. He did a double take. There was a small white mutant in that Splinter's lap. Before he could say anything, the theater's second screen turned on. Notes. https://suno.com/lowercase s uppercase o uppercase f lowercase q uppercase s lowercase b 4 lowercase l lowercase o uppercase n uppercase w uppercase v uppercase q uppercase f 1 uppercase f. Thank you to that one reader 123451 for the awesome song for this chapter. I'm going to recommend we listen to that song afterwards. It is a well-written song and perfectly conveys what happens to the Splinter on the screen. The keeper started. But it is difficult to hear. It will affect you, Splinter, and you, Netsu, and everyone, looks right at Leo and his brothers sharply, listening very much. Did it look like that person, whatever, did it look like they were looking right at us, too? There, Mikey asked, and Leo had no answer. Maybe we should switch the channel? Donnie asked. No, I want to see this one. I don't know why. I think it's important somehow, though, their Raph added. Splinter doesn't remember when he started counting the days. The calendar on the wall says it's been days since the collar came off, since the rescue, the one he has only fragments of memory about. But time feels strange here, elastic. Sometimes a minute stretches into eternity. Sometimes a day passes in what feels like hours. He was collared? Somehow that seems worse than the one where he was hypnotized, Mikey admitted. My love, are you all right? The little mutant in the theater asked. They all stared at each other for a moment. Do you think Father had pet names for Tang Shen, or Tang Shen had pet names for her father? Raph asked. Leo didn't know. He knew Shen loved Yoshi. She chose him over Saki, though he did think she was absolutely in the right about that one, and he knew that their father had loved Shen. But once again he has to think, because Father, for all he talked about Shen, never once talked about specifics. It isn't me up on that screen, but I recognize the feeling. When I was captured by the Shredder, I often felt that a day stretched on forever. Time behaved strangely. That Splinter in the theater said sagely. You were captured by Saki? The other versions of us must have been in such a panic over that. Did they wonder if you were alive or dead? Did they know how to help you afterwards? Leo wondered. The tea helps with that. Makes everything softer, easier. He knows he should refuse it. Doesn't he? The doubt is the first thing to go, Hound Dog said, clinically, carefully. When someone is isolated and chemically affected over time, the first thing that erodes is the ability to evaluate one's own state. You stop being able to tell what's normal. I didn't know that. Well, I'm kind of glad I never had to learn that, there Donnie asked. But when he tries, when his paw hesitates over the cup, Netsu's ears droop just slightly. That small, wounded expression that says, you don't trust me after everything I've done for you. And the guilt that follows is worse than the fog. The droopy ears! There Mikey exclaimed. Remember how we'd see that sometimes when it would come time for remembering Shen? But weaponized. I'm not so sure I like this Netsu. Or at least the one on the screen. The one in the theater seems okay, for now. Common, the Murray said. More common than punishment, because punishment makes someone angry. This makes them feel responsible. She looked at the screen. The person being harmed ends up managing the feelings of the person harming them. How often did you have to manage our feelings as well as your own, even when it harmed you, Father? Leo wondered. The penthouse is comfortable, more comfortable than the sewers ever were, more comfortable than the cramped apartment he'd had in that other life, the one that feels more like a dream now than a memory. Soft bedding, quality food, the kind of grooming and care he'd never had access to before. This is better, a small voice whispers. Isn't this better? No, it isn't, their Raph shouts, and then quieter. No matter how nice the cage, it's still a cage. Come on, other Splinter, snap out of it. Leo doubted it was that easy. How often had their father wanted comfort from his life as a human, wanted to feel close to being human? Probably way more than he'd ever admit to himself, that was for sure. Splinter had frozen. The students, his class, they needed him. I should go to them. They need me. The camp is fine. Snipe is handling things beautifully, but I need you here. Netsu's paw had found his, gentle, warm. You're not well yet. The collar damaged you more than you realize. Stay. Rest. Let me care for you. And Splinter had stayed, because he was tired. He does look kind of exhausted. I wonder how often our Splinter felt that way and pushed it down, there Mikey asked. I hate that he sounds tired, Theater Mikey whispered. Not scared, not angry, just tired. Nobody answered immediately. Because that's the part that feels real, the Mikey in the theater said. People fight when they think somebody's coming. Then he should keep fighting, their Raph growled. 'Cause there isn't a world we've seen yet where I'm convinced we wouldn't come for you. And Netsu's touch had felt nice. When had you started craving it? When was the last time someone touched you for anything, Father? Leo hated that he couldn't remember. Had he ever asked their father for a hug? He glanced at his brothers, who all seemed to have come to the same uncomfortable realization. None of them had. Not that Leo thinks it would have been easy asking their Splinter for hugs, for positive touch, simply because their Splinter wasn't like that. He didn't show physical affection that way. The second time, he'd gotten further, made it to the elevator before the panic set in. What was he doing? Where would he go? Back to teaching? Back to that empty apartment? Back to sons who didn't remember him, who looked at him with polite stranger eyes? Every time he tried to reach them before, something had gone wrong. Leonardo's transformation. Transformation? Their Donnie asked. What do you suppose that is about? Dunno. Maybe that version of me on the theater screen got into some mutagen, and that version of Splinter blames himself for it? Leo answered. Maybe if I stop trying, he thought, paw hovering over the elevator button. Maybe if I just let go, they'll be safe. No, we wouldn't, Raph growled again. We wouldn't feel safe without you. We wouldn't. I know it's not true, Theater Splinter said, but in that state, when you are that tired, when everything you've tried has gone wrong, the thought is, he stopped, very loud. You don't get to decide that for us, Theater Raph said, very quietly, not to the screen, to Theater Splinter. That version of you, he doesn't get to decide we're better off. No, Theater Splinter agreed. He doesn't, but he's not. He paused. He's not making a decision. He's drowning. Drowning people don't make decisions. They just stop swimming. Did you ever feel like you were drowning, Father? Leo wanted to ask, because Leo definitely did. A lot of the time, as they were forced to fight the Krang, he'd had so many doubts. Still did. Still, he wished he could ask their Splinter, what do I do if I still feel like I'm drowning? And so do my brothers. I can't help them or myself. What would you do? Maybe the universe was trying to tell him something. Maybe this, Netsu, the penthouse, the careful, gentle routine. Maybe this is what he was meant for. He'd gone back inside. Netsu had been waiting, tea already poured. I'm glad you came back, he'd said. And the relief in his voice had been so genuine that Splinter felt ashamed for trying to leave. The third time, he hadn't even made it to the door, just stood there staring at it, paw outstretched. What's the point? The point is we'd want you to, there, Mikey said quietly. We'd want you to fight, to keep trying, other Splinter. The observer is the last thing to go, Hound Dog said very quietly. When someone is losing themselves to sustained psychological pressure and chemical influence, sometimes the last coherent part of them is the part that can see it happening, that can name it. He paused. That part is very small and very alone. Oh, beloved, on the theater screen, Netsu murmured, guiding Splinter back to the sitting room with gentle pressure at his elbow. You're thinking too much again. Here, this will help. The tea had been sweeter than usual. Splinter had drunk it gratefully, and the thoughts had gone quiet. I hate that the version of Splinter on screen has a nickname that should be gentle, should be loving, and it's used against him, there Mikey piped up. I hate more that the Netsu on the theater screen weaponized tea, Father's favorite. Leo realized he was right, because their father had loved tea, had loved drinking it, offering it to Leo and his brothers. He wished he'd taken Father up on that more often, even if he didn't like tea. Now he sits in his window seat, his favorite spot, Netsu says, though Splinter doesn't remember choosing it, and watches the city below. Somewhere out there his sons are living lives without him. Maybe that's okay. Maybe they're happier this way. That thought should hurt more than it does. What are you thinking about? Netsu asks, settling beside him with his own cup. Splinter opens his mouth, closes it. What is he thinking about? Nothing, he says finally. Just watching the clouds. Netsu's paw finds the spot between his ears, scratching gently. You've been so good lately, so calm. I'm very proud of you. The praise sends a warm flush through Splinter's chest. He leans into the touch without thinking. Ew, their Raph said. I hate that version of Splinter feels warmth, craves validation and touch from someone who is hurting him. I wish we could help him. He's attaching safety to compliance, Ayaza said quietly. Hisashi glanced at him. That's why the praise matters so much. Not because Splinter's weak, because when somebody's isolated long enough, approval starts feeling like oxygen. Do you think our Splinter felt that way sometimes? There, Mikey asked. Leo thinks he might have, because he knows that he wishes he'd said, I'm proud to be your son. We all are. When did this become automatic? Good, calm, proud. The words settle over him like a blanket. He is good. He is calm. This is fine. Everything is fine, isn't it? No, everything is not fine, Other Splinter, Raph practically snarled. We would tell you that calmness is a leash, that being good for your captor does nothing but make their hold on you harder to break, and that none of this is fine. You miss them, don't you? On-screen Netsu's voice is so understanding, so kind. I can see it in your eyes when you watch the monitors. You want to see your sons. They're not. They don't remember. But they could, with time, with the right environment. On screen, Netsu's paw moves to cup Splinter's face, turning him gently until their eyes meet. I could give that to you. Give you your family back. All of them, safe here where nothing can hurt them. The offer is so tempting, it makes Splinter's chest ache. His sons, here, safe, no more danger, no more transformations. There it is again, there Donnie interrupted. Transformations, plural. Does that mean the versions of us on the screen were exposed to mutagen or anti-mutagen? It doesn't matter, Other Splinter. No matter what happened, it's not your fault. And we want you to keep fighting, no matter what happened. No more watching them suffer while being helpless to stop it. Just family, the way it was supposed to be. He's weaponizing family against himself. Their Maggie sounded so sad. That isn't family. That's just a weapon. Think of your family to keep fighting, Other Splinter, but not like that. This is wrong, a tiny voice screams from somewhere deep inside. This is a trap. This is control. This is a loss of everything you are. That's the right way to think, Other Splinter, Termikely said cheekily. We'd want you to remember who you are, what you're losing. Keep fighting, Other Splinter. We're rooting for you. But the voice is getting quieter every day, drowned out by the tea, the warmth, the gentle touches, the promise of safety. Think about it, Netsu says softly. We could be a real family. You, me, the teachers, the students. No more pain, no more confusion, just peace. Splinter's throat is tight. I need to think. Of course. Netsu smiles, so warm, so genuine. Take all the time you need, my love. I'm not going anywhere. He resumes the gentle scratching, and Splinter's eyes drift closed to spite himself. Just peace, he thinks distantly. Maybe that wouldn't be so bad. Maybe I've been fighting for nothing. Maybe this is better. You're not fighting for nothing, Other Splinter. You're fighting for what's right, even if it hurts. You never stopped fighting for what was right before, even if it had been easier. Raph said, so unsure. Leo wants to add that it's so true. Even when it would have been easier to stop fighting after their Splinter had thought Miwa dead, he'd kept going. Had kept going even after being changed into something brand new. Had kept fighting even when Miwa turned out to be alive. 'Cause that was what their father did. Even when it hurt, he kept fighting. If he'd not been betrayed, would their Splinter have kept fighting still? Probably. He wishes their Splinter was here so he could say, we'll stand by your side. Fight together for a better day. Fight stronger so none of us feels alone. Fight as a family, because that is what we are, even when it is messy and hard. The voice screaming warnings grows fainter, and Splinter, for the first time since awakening here, feels something like contentment. It terrifies him, because he doesn't know anymore if the terror is warning him away from danger or warning him that he's already lost. There's a silence for a long while as they all process this. Do you ever crave comfort like that, Father? Leo wondered. Is it wrong that I'm kind of glad that he feels content? Even if it's wrong, even if it's in captivity? There, Mikey asked. No, he deserves to be happy, even if it is only for a moment. But he should keep fighting, there, Raph argued. I'm losing myself, he thinks distantly, clinically, like observing someone else's tragedy. And I don't know if I care anymore. We do! Keep fighting, other Splinter! Leo finds himself shouting. This is wrong. 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 This thought screams through the fog, clear and terrible. He's breaking him, day by day, dose by dose, touch by touch, taking someone proud and strong and turning him into something compliant and hollow. Then stop, Other Me! Use any of the precautions I put in place for such an occasion. Stop trying to do everything yourself, please! The inner Natsu cried. Stop! Please! Someone stop me! But his paw is already measuring out tomorrow's dose, higher than today's. That's not good, their Donnie comments. If he keeps dosing that other Splinter, and now has upped the dosage, he's going to cause an overdose. Just to be safe, just to keep him calm, just to keep him from leaving again. Mine, the compulsion whispers. Safe, protected, loved. The screaming part of Netsu that knows this is evil, that remembers what it felt like to be the one in the cage, grows quieter. Then stop, weird boyfriend of the other Splinter, Mikey growled, and Leo startled. Stop hurting him! Stop it! See the cage for what it is and stop! Oh God, please no! Netsu in the theater cried. Fight it, Other Me! Keep fighting! Red, I need to leave! Go. I will call you when it is over, Netsu, the keeper said kindly. Does anyone else need to leave? That includes you four. The keeper looked at them again. Can you see us? Leo asked. Yes, I can. I can see all versions of people watching and interacting with my realm. You're welcome to continue watching, you four who are at crossroads. I see if you lost your Splinter. The universe you have tuned into. This is a bad time to see him. To see a version of your father brought so low. I want you to use the same system the other turtles are using. Just tell me red if you wish to stop the viewing, and I will stop it for you. Yellow if you need to pause. Green for continue. Green, there Leo said calmly. As much as seeing a version of our father hurting so hurts, we need to continue, if you do not mind. Green, all of his brothers echoed. Then feel free to continue. There are two more things I think you should watch after this, but I believe, much like the ones in my theater, you will need a break after the song. Please ensure you do so. And what else was Leo to say but, yeah, we'll do that. The song title appeared on screen. The keeper's voice came through quietly from somewhere. When you're ready, including you four, he said. We are ready, Leo confirmed, even if he felt anything but ready. https://suno.com/s/s uppercase O, uppercase F, lowercase q, uppercase s, lowercase b, 4, lowercase l, lowercase o, uppercase n, uppercase w, uppercase v, uppercase q, uppercase f, 1, uppercase f. I'm the sensei, the father always so strong, but every day something keeps going wrong. I want to rest, if he says so. He knows best. Take one more sip. I still hate that this version of Father has tea weaponized against him, Leo commented, and the way that the song sounds, almost threatening while being calm. The world seems quiet at the edge of my mind, like someone gently untangling the lines that used to hold everything in place. I think I recognize this face. There is no lock upon this cage, so why can't I escape this place? Because you've been conditioned not to, there Darnley added. You stop fighting. It's okay, Other Splinter. We'll keep watching, even if you stop fighting. We understand. Safe and warm, no threat of harm. Still I feel a quiet alarm. I try to leave. He whispers please, and puts my restless mind at ease. Just one more cup, let it fill me up. No more worry left in me. I don't know if I want to be free. Yes, you do, Other Splinter, Leo said calmly. You would always want us to be free. Think of us. What if it were us? You'd want us to try to remember. You'd want us to be free. Fog inside my brain. He says it's okay. Just let go of it all. It's okay to fall. He says I'm good. He says I'm safe. Good pets know how to obey. Just going to stay for one more cup. I hate that Other Splinter thinks of himself as a good pet. That is more disturbing than anything else, I think, Raph said thoughtfully. I used to think I had to fight, but thinking hurts when it's done at night. And I'm so tired of being wrong that I just hum a softer song. Take one more sip. Good is simple, simple is kind. Kind is easier in my mind. If I stop reaching, I won't slip. Just breathe in slow. Take one more sip. He wouldn't lie, he wouldn't leave. He only wants what's best for me. And if I doubt, if I resist, that only means I missed the list of things I meant to understand. So I let go, I let him plan. Take one more sip. No, he doesn't have what's best for you in mind, Other Splinter, Donnie said calmly. He's conditioning you. Stop justifying it. No, that's not quite right. What was I saying just tonight? I am calm. I am safe. I am where I always should. Take one more sip. That song, there Mikey started, was horrible. And yet, I could see how Other Splinter, or even ours, could fall like that. He is very resilient, the keeper said sadly. He will bounce back, eventually. Now, you boys, this is the end of the episode for you. Go, take some time to think about what you've seen. And remember, you may always tell me, Red, and I will stop the viewing for you. And I am sorry that you lost your father. I am sorry you have not been able to let go. But I understand that, for I have not been able to let go either. The Splinter in my theater can make different choices, to love and be loved, to learn that he is lovable no matter if he is wild, if he is pet, if he is good, if he is awful, if he is angry, if he is sad. I wish I could bring that experience to all versions of Splinter, for all of them mean so very much to me. I shall see you next episode. The screen went dark, and that's the end of that chapter. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next chapter.